also it's okay to start to look forward a little bit. And saw an article this week that really wanted to get into to start, and then that kind of is going to go over the overall theme, which is trades for the Islanders, both in trade bait on the roster and trade targets. So, Mitch, I saw an article this week from the hockey. I always want to keep saying the hockey news, but it's not. It's the hockey writers.
Right.
And it batted around the idea of the New York Islanders trading Ilya Sorokin. So your thoughts on the Isle saying, you know what? We want out of this contract before it even starts. Let's bail on Ilya Sorokin.
We got a good series out of Semyon Varlamov. Let's keep riding the shell of the empty shell that will be eventually of Semyon Varlamov, who's 36 years old. What are we doing? I get it that he didn't have a good year. Sure. And I get that he's now just jumping into an 8-year contract at $8.5 million in terms of cap hit. What am I doing? I have it open right here. And oh my gosh, if I cannot click properly. This is why I'm really bad at StarCraft. Just constant misclicks. Misclick central. No wonder I die all the time.
Oh no.
Yeah. So he's just starting $8.25 million a year for 8 years. I get it in those two regards. He didn't have a good year, starting a big contract. He's 28 years old, going to be going on 29, is he not? In August, he'll be 29 years old. On those two facets alone, I get it. But then you consider that he is and has been for multiple years a 920 plus goalie, lower than 2.5 goals against average over a season, 2 seasons even. And you're like, we're good. What? No, for what? For what? What are you going to get out of this guy to be like, we are now competitive? Can you find another goalie like this just laying around? Unlikely.
Yeah, very unlikely. The only way I even entertain this is if it's in a Mitch Marner trade, which I don't think is very likely. I don't think Mitch Marner to the Islanders is a very likely trade to happen. But the only way I would even consider it would be in a deal that returned someone of that caliber.
It's got to be Mitch Marner plus. Honest, I would not take Mitch Marner for Ilya Sorokin 1-for-1. I wouldn't do it.
No, you would have to get back another goalie, I would say. Wall, probably, right? Is he still under contract there?
Yeah, and even then, I probably would say no, like, because we're getting a much worse goalie, and they're getting a great goalie, and they already have scoring. And I know I shouldn't be looking at what they get and how better it's going to make them versus how better it's going to make us, I suppose. But I kind of have to, because like we're not getting equal value, in my opinion. We are not getting better with just getting Mitch Marner and losing Ilya Sorokin. We have to get Mitch Marner and keep Ilya Sorokin. We would. That's how far off we are. It seems we would need both.
Right. You're gambling on Joseph Wall becoming a quality starter, which he only has 36 career games played. He's a 9-12, 2.76 goals against goalie in his career. This past year, played in 25 games, 907, 294 goals against. So it would be a massive gamble there. But again, that was just a vague throwing out there. Like the only name I would consider is Mitch Marner, who is a legitimate superstar. Where some of the other trade names will bat around, good players and will could absolutely push the needle forward for the Islanders, but not superstar 90+ point player.
No. So when you read that article, what was your first sentiment? What was the first thing you thought of when you saw the byline? Not the byline, the title.
I said, I don't think I'm going to like this. And then I read the article and I came away saying, yeah, I didn't enjoy reading that. It kind of goes back to, was it last episode or 2 episodes ago when I was saying, like, I think we've gone too far on the goalies doesn't matter thing. I feel like that was kind of a part of the...
It was recent, for sure.
Yeah, right. But, like, that was kind of the sentiment of this article. It's like, oh, well, goalies have been making $6 million or less on Stanley Cup champion teams. The only outlier is Andrei Vasilevsky. It's like, well, those Lightning teams were really freaking good. They went to 3 straight Stanley Cups, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to ever change off of that stance with the devaluing of the goalie position, because even again, still watching these playoffs, like Carolina, Toronto, who we know put zero effort into goalie, like they get bounced the first round every year. Carolina is on the verge of getting bounced. Freddie Anderson stinks. By the way, how they went back to Freddie Anderson in Game 4, I have no idea. They were lucky to win that game with him in net. The goal he gave up to Lafreniere was an absolute laugher. Yeah. But again, like these teams who put zero stock in the goalie position forever, guess what? They never win anything. They don't do anything. Again, am I saying that you have to have a $10 million goalie to win in this league? Obviously, no, but you have to have a very good goalie, and I think Ilya Sorokin is a very good goalie, even though he struggled this year.
Yeah, if you can get a quality starter, and that's like .915 about save percentage on average over their career, and you're giving them like a $5 million to $6 million deal, yeah, fine, that's cool. I'd like to know how many of those $6 million goalies were signed before players like Vasilevsky, Shesterkin, and so on signed their $8 million deals. Right, like we might be talking about Marc-André Fleury. Yeah, well, he signed it back in like 1962, so that's fine. He wasn't even born then, but y'all get what I'm trying to say here. You get that kind of like .915 goalie, and you surround that goalie with an excellent core of players. Yeah, you're probably going to do well.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.